Welcome to Queen of the Yard, hosted by the two dopest ACs on the planet. I'm Tracy Lauren, a former high school homecoming queen.
And I'm Stacey L. Holman, a former Miss Dillard University.
You just had to show me up.
Well, Tracy, your high school crown is cute, but this podcast is all about the HBCU campus queens, the drama, the magic, and the mission to reign the yard by any means necessary.
Well, all right then. Let's get into it. Welcome to the second episode of Queen of the Yard. I'm Tracy Lauren, and this is my partner in Regal Crime, Stacey L. Holman.
Hello. I am so humbled to be here. I really appreciate everyone listening, watching. I'm just your mere servant.
Oh, God. We have a great episode in store for y'all. But before we get into it, make sure you be a QT and follow, like, subscribe to our channels on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram at Queen of the Yard TV, on Facebook at Queen of the Yard, and on Black Twitter at _Queen of the Yard. Be a hero. Support our crowdfunding campaign to make Queen of the Yard a hit TV series at crowdfunder.com/Queen of the Yard. Now, we are super excited to introduce our guest, a former Miss FAMU, the gifted Erica Nicole Johnson. Erica is a classical contemporary vocalist from Dallas, Texas. She holds a Master of Music degree from the Manhattan School of Music, and she graduated magna cum laude with a Bachelor of Science in Vocal Performance from Florida A&M University, FAMU. Beginning her operatic journey at Booker T. Washington High School for the Performing and Visual Arts, Erica has performed at Carnegie Hall, Barclays Center, and many more renowned venues in the U.S. She appeared as a soloist in a PBS gospel, and she's taken her talents globally to Austria, Paris, and Bulgaria. Erica, which is what we're here to talk about, was the 114th Miss FAMU, and she's a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. Miss Erica is dedicated to advancing her art and inspiring future generations through music. What's up, Erica? You a bad girl. You a bad girl.
I'm trying to put us on the map, you know?
Well, you have done that.
We're so honored to have you here on our podcast. We're really excited to just hear your story, your journey, your experience. And before we dive in, we have a thing where we just want to drop a little bit of trivia, a little bit of history on folks. And this is some FAMU history. And I think in the time and season that we're in, I think it's appropriate to remember and honor those who were pounding the pavement and who were fighting the good fight. March 12, 1960, Florida A&M students and FSU students did a sit-in at the Woolworths. They are protesting against the arrest of 23 of their classmates when they took part in a lunch counter sit-in demonstrating at McCrory's and Woolworths department stores. These Negro students from Florida A&M University carry signs reading, "Give us back our students, and we will not fight mobs." We just honor those, our four brothers and sisters that are fighting the good fight as we pick up our placards, we pick up our protest signs, and we continue that march. So, Erica, on some joy notes, this is 100 and what? 114, you said?
I'm the 114th, yes.
114. So take us from the beginning. Where are you from originally? And first we got a toast. Thank you.
We got a toast. We got to toast the number 114.
Queen.
Hey.
Yes.
Toast our queen. There you go.
Toast our queen. Cheers.
And if you're listening or watching at home, you can toast our queens too. Yes. Right now.
Yes. Exactly. And if you want to tell us what you toasted them with, you know,
yes.
You could be alcoholic and non-alcoholic. You know, we go both ways here.
Right.
So tell us where you're from and just how did you get to FAMU?
So I'm from Dallas, Texas. Along with my siblings and I, we are the only Johnson members from Texas. Our entire family is from Lake City, Florida. So that is kind of our direct path to FAMU. A lot of my aunts, uncles, cousins, they all went to FAMU. It's an hour and 30 minutes away. So that's kind of where we knew we were going to be. For college day in elementary school, we would have FAMU shirts on. We didn't even know, you know. So I feel like our parents kind of gave us bits and bits of FAMU until it was time for us to apply for schools. And I was talking to my dad about, you know, the social differences that he's experienced outside of graduating from HBCU and how he can differentiate, you know, people who didn't graduate. And he's just saying it's the experience that makes it, you know, worth going. You know, you find out a lot of things about yourself, and it empowers you to just do anything. You know, you come from all walks of life and you go to an HBCU where they just project that anything is possible, and you start to, you know, walk into that. You start showing up as that. We dress up, you know, we dress for success. So that's really, I just kind of saw it beforehand. A lot of people were successful in my family. So I was like, why not, you know?
And what years were you at FAMU? You were there from what year to what year?
2017 to 2021.
And that
Yes.
2020,
Yes.
21 was a year that we were all stuck in a pandemic. So, but
Yes.
before we get into that, just kind of guide us through, your freshman year, was it something on your radar? I mean, you had orange and green in your blood.
Right, yeah,
So
yes, right. So it wasn't on my radar, but I was a freshman with a HBCU queen as a sister. So I really didn't have a choice. Like, people put it on me before I even got a chance to process it for myself. Um, I went to school under her shadow. I didn't really have a name, Marva's little sister, you know, and that kind of frustrated me because I'm like, no, like, I'm nobody's, you know, I'm my own person. So that's when I started performing on campus and I made a name for myself. And that's where really, that's the genesis of everything, me performing in our gym. It was a large performance. I actually did opera. So I just came in swinging, basically. Like, I just had to say, like, this, like, we're both great individually, you know? So yes.
What was that difficult? How difficult was that to really kind of live in your sister's shadow at FAMU with all that she had accomplished there?
It was very difficult, because everybody was looking at me always, you know, what is she gonna do? You know, oh, I felt like my college experience was catered towards like being somebody something, you know. Oh, that's so and so's daughter. Oh, that's so and so's sister. So a lot of times I was a little bit hesitant to go out because I knew that I represented, you know, my family who had worked hard. I didn't want to let my 18-year-old self just ruin everything that they built, you know. So when I got to FAMU, it was kind of like everybody was like, "Oh, you're going to run for Miss Freshman, right?" And I was like, "I just got here," like, because my sister was already queen, and they were like, "It'll be great. Y'all be on the court together. Think of the photos," and I'm like, I just need to know where my dorm is. I need to know where my classes are, you know? Like, so I think people put that expectation on me, and I'm happy that I was able to grow into that um, person that they saw me as being, you know, not someone that was someone's little sister. Um, and yeah, that's pretty much how I entered into this whole craziness of the legacy and just being the last one, I guess, to complete it. It was a lot of pressure. Yes. And a lot of people like, oh, she thinks or it was just a lot. So.
Were
and
you
talk about
did
that.
what go ahead, Stacey.
I mean, you said something interesting in terms of your kind of college is a time and space that you're finding yourself. You're kind of
Right.
learning and growing about yourself. And also, how are you doing this, trying to find your, no pun intended, your own voice while you
Mhm.
know this expectation is on you?
Right.
They see this vision for you, but you also see it for yourself. So what is going through your mind in this time?
That's a great question. I think the music department's representation in student government encouraged me or pushed me or influenced me to take a leadership position because I felt like we didn't have a voice, we didn't have someone advocating for the things that we needed. They were just like, oh, the band. But there's other people who are, involved in music who aren't, it's not just a concentrated thing. I was a music major myself, a vocalist in a band, in a classroom full of band members. So I felt sometimes ostracized that I didn't have a lot of representation for um, my concentration specifically. So I just felt like there should be someone who can be a musician and be a leader. It shouldn't be like we just stay in the practice room and we don't have a college experience. And people need to know that musicians aren't just antisocial, or, we're not just introverted. We're not just, there are people who are social and who love to network. And that was another thing. I took my exposure as a networking opportunity for myself because it was my major. And the more I received, or the more I received opportunities to perform, just being the entertainment, the musical selection. It worked for my benefit because a lot of people, began to know who I am, and it was, I was no longer Marva's little sister in that spotlight. And it just helped me get into my major. It just helped me just grow altogether as a person. And be able to just talk to people, because like I said, a lot of us are introverted. We have like so many classes. So just being able to have the opportunity to just represent people who are always in practice, it just felt amazing, to be honest. And I felt like they felt proud to have a music major in that position, because it's never, I know Kay Michelle was a former Miss FAMU who was a music major, but I can't remember any time in the 2000s where there has been someone who was in the essential theater or the arts. It's usually a SBI or a journalism major because they're always speaking. So it pushed me, getting out of my comfort zone as someone who doesn't have those opportunities to network. It's like I need to get comfortable being uncomfortable. So I try to challenge myself to just do it. So yes.
Okay.
So you made your own history. You made history at FAMU, basically, with being Miss FAMU, being
Yes.
one of the first music majors in a long time, probably. Well, we
Yes.
see your crown and your sash in the back. So now
Yes.
tell us how it came to be. We want to hear all the juicy details, how we got here.
Like how we got here or how we
How
got
we
the
got
selection?
how
Oh,
well how you
okay.
how you came to be Miss FAMU. Like when did you decide, all right, I'm going to embrace, the calling that was put upon me because your sister, and so when did you embrace that, and how did that come about? And then walk us through how your journey started.
It actually started. So my sophomore year, the summer of my sophomore year, I went to Bulgaria. And being outside of my community, I learned a lot for what my community needed. And so instead of making it about myself, I was just like, there's a lot of things that people don't know that could advance them, and it's not their fault, So I just had a moment of realization that I can be the one to, because I was already a resident assistant, I love mentoring people. I love, making people realize that they have something, because somebody did it for me, and just being outside of the United States, I just had a heart to heart talk with myself that there's more work that needs to be done where I am now. Um, and there's more representation in our department. I had a teacher that would tell me a long time ago that people think musicians are, just a lot of bad negative connotations. And I wanted to remove that narrative. Because I just had a awakening moment that I was like, I can't go out and live my dreams when there's so much work to be done. And it's like, I have the knowledge, or I have the will to come back and make a difference. And so that's what really helped me get it going. And then being an RA, I realized how essential my role is and to somebody that is coming from home. You know, they don't know anything. They don't know like their morals or, you know, they can do anything. So it's like just having that mentorship or having that person behind them that checks in on them makes a huge difference. A lot of my residents are in medical school. You know, now I come back and it's like it's a full circle moment. It's so rewarding seeing you know, they used to go to parties, but now they're getting white coats, you know? So it's just, I don't know, it just honestly, leaving your community makes you realize that there is more work to be done. So that's what I was running on for my campaign or just my whole disposition for seeking leadership and also our family. But I needed to know for myself and not just because it comes with pressure. And it's like, am I going to accept this, you know, this period of sleepless nights, you know? Am I going to accept this period of, you know, wondering, am I enough, you know, just because I want more for people? So I'm blessed to have that support system that I had to, you know, keep me positive and, you know, if they see me or if they'll see me on campus, they'll be like, I see you, girl. Like, I see what you're doing. You know, just those little things just kept me going.
What is the process? Like, what qualifies you to run? Can you run as a junior? Like Howard, you can run as a junior. And you mentioned there's like a point system. So
yes. So you have to have credits for a junior to run. And if I'm not mistaken, the GPA has to be a 3.8. I mean, sorry, 3.0 for a campus position. So a class position, it's a 2.8 or 2.7 for attendant, but for a Mr. and Miss, it's a 3.0. And there's a point system that can disqualify you if you don't get your materials approved for campaigning, or if it's something that goes outside of the guidelines, like you can't have a poster, you know, you have to have something that is movable. Like I remember one year people try to finesse the rules, you know, we try to figure out ways. So she got a cut out of herself on wheels, you know, it's not, you know, it's like we find ways, you know. It's just like small things. I can't solely remember exactly everything because it was a lot. It's like things to where people would be on the lookout on your team to to snitch, basically, like, oh, so and so didn't turn their things in by this time, let's report it. You know, it's a very nasty thing, but you know, it's someone's dream, so I understand, but yeah.
Wow. It sounds like the presidential campaign, like people
No,
doing dirty
yeah,
stuff.
it is. No, yeah,
And,
it
and is
is.
that the dead day you mentioned to us that you list your camp that you're going to run, and then there's like a dead day where you can't?
Yes. Yes. After you declare in front of the school, there's one day before campaigning starts where you can't talk about it, you can't post about it, it's nothing. And then at midnight, teaser videos drop.
Legacy is everything. Someone crawled so she could walk, so they could run, so we can fly. And it's time for takeoff. FAMU is entering a new era where excellence won't be optional, it's mandatory.
The proof is in the receipts. What's shown by Rattler's past?
It's not you, it's something that represents you. And so you'll have your campaign team flood the timeline with a teaser video and they're like, who is this? And you don't know who it is, but yeah, it's a lot. It's like you have an army basically. And it's like when you like we're posting at this time. And so when you get onto your, you know, social media account, it's like, you like, it's all over the place. So
So if you get caught doing something on dead day, what happens?
You points. It's a point. It's a deduction, and then you're disqualified after a certain amount. So
So
yeah.
people were probably really snitching on people if they did stuff on dead day then, or like trying to
Yes, but
trick people
throughout
into
the
doing.
campaign, they do it. Like, if something wasn't approved or it's just they find out something on the candidate. They'll do anything, even if it's like something that deals with, you know, them being a student, like their student academics, it gets that far. And I can't do that. Like I would choose peace. I don't know. I just don't want those problems coming
Did you
back to
have
me.
did you have anyone that tried to do anything tricky to you or against your campaign? Anybody try to sabotage you? Or anybody hate on you for your status, position, family position?
I mean, I think that came with it. With me coming to FAMU, it's kind of the assumption that this is going to be my competition. And so I just kind of got a cold shoulder from people for 4 years. So I don't know, but I wouldn't say someone intentionally tried to sabotage me because I was the first online campaign. So they had to rewrite the bylaws. I was the first online election process. Um, so a lot of things were new, to a point where I felt like because I didn't know what my opponents were going to bring out because it was so untraditional, I just pulled everything out. Like I was just like I just left it on the table, and yeah, I sometimes I feel like I over prepared because I didn't know what to expect because we've never seen a virtual campaign and endorsements and we don't know what it can be when there's technology involved. So
Okay. Well, so what were some of those things that you did? What were some of your what was your campaign strategy? And what did you do to carry out, to execute?
my campaign strategy was, or my campaign theme was a new era with Erica. That was my slogan, a timeless woman. So my whole campaign was really about the past Rattler, the current Rattler, and the future Rattler, that's our job. So it was kind of orchestrated around the students with their mental health, community service hours. I had a book club, like we instill reading in our communities. I partnered with the president or the first lady Robinson, the first lady of the university at the time. So it's just a lot of community things that I felt we needed. One thing that was difficult for me was the counseling services during the pandemic because you can only counsel within your state, and a lot of the students weren't there. So that was the only dilemma that I felt like was bothering me because I felt like people needed someone to talk to. Um, and it was just very hard getting it approved. But I think everything I did to the best of my ability. We had a talent show. Just
This
a
is
lot
all
of
virtual. This is all virtual, a virtual talent show.
yes, the virtual talent show was, but the book reading club was in person. It was like a video read with me thing, and it was Black Women in Science. I think it was for Women's History Month. So we were just reading a book. So I try to do things that I could do. If I could change my platform points virtually, I would do it. Um, but it was some things I couldn't do. Like I couldn't do, you know, community service and building a house. I couldn't do those things that I had planned to do for people to have opportunities to accumulate community service hours. It was difficult online.
People
So
people did that though. People had done that before. Like, I mean,
yes,
you're saying that so casually. You're just like, yeah, and
yes,
people build a house, and then people, they go and they do this. I'm like, let's just rewind this. So these are some really, really like acts of service that,
yes.
yeah, which are great.
I just wanted to be more than a face. actually wanted people to feel my brain, like feel my time. And that's why I felt like I enjoyed being an RA so much, because I had a personal, like it was very an intimate and personal relationships with people that I still to this day cherish, because I know, like I said, how vital those people who are, it might seem like we had it together, but we were far from where we were, so it's nice to see that things get better. And I think that is important for upperclassmen to, come for tutoring sessions or just be more proactive with people, so we can help our retention rates. People won't feel like, they have to give up on themselves, or, they have to make a pivot. I think we should just be more of a community, and I I gained a lot of great relationships from people who are very quiet, so I don't know. I think I'm a people person.
So I read that you had a cooking show as part of your
Oh,
campaign
yes.
strategy that was pretty
Yes.
popular. So tell
Yes.
us about that.
That comes with the pivoting of the campaign week. So I had to think of things that were interactive. And I had a friend who is known for cooking. She's like one of those amazing people. Like, she is a scientist, she's a teacher, she's an artist, she's like, she does everything. And I was like, can we make something on live and make it interactive, and we can talk, or we can, sing and just have conversations. And I think people enjoyed the attempt of watching me learn, or like watching me cook with her. Because it was like, Erica, what are you doing? Or, Erica, that's too much seasoning. It was like engaging in the comments. We're at home watching. So that was really fun. Another event that I had was 114th in Park, which is like 106 in Park. And it was a virtual talent show for students to come on and just, introduce themselves. Like I said, representation. It's like the artist, like having a platform, I'm having all these viewers. Here's a time to, sing your original, sing an original, and have that platform and have that just positive community rooting for you in the comments. A lot of people are like, you don't know what that live did for me. I was very shy. I was at home and I was just like, okay, I'm just gonna log on. And then I had a day party. It was like a like D-Nice type of thing, where I had a DJ friend playing a lot of like music, but it was also a FAMU trivia. So I try to do a lot of interactive things where people could feel like they could just comment and have feel seen in their bed at home. So,
And I
and I
think you
had
told us you
yoga.
spent some money. Oh, you had yoga too. Oh,
Yes,
okay.
yoga.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
And you also got to voter stomachs as well. I understand, as Tracy was about to say, the groceries.
Oh, yes.
I love you, Eric, because you're just like, oh yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yes.
We built
The
a
groceries.
house.
We built a
Yes,
house
and
and
we fed the poor, and then we did a
like,
whole musical and so on and so forth. And yeah, we saved the world. There's world peace. We also did.
That's so
Our
funny.
queen is humble.
just-
Our queen is
I
just
still
humble.
kind of be like, yeah,
we love a humble queen. We love a humble queen.
yes. Because I feel like God will humble me if I don't stay humble. So,
True that.
wait, what was your previous question? Oh, the groceries. Coming back from Christmas break, that's kind of like it's game time. Everybody knows who's running. Everybody has, if you haven't been asked yet, then that other person is already working with someone. You kind of have to just go, because campaign season is usually around February. Mine, because of the pandemic, was in April. And so was my sister's. Yeah. We didn't know peace until the end of the semester. But I was thinking about a way, or I actually had one of my mentors inquire, tell me, like, there was a former Miss FAMU that did like a scavenger hunt. And he was like, how about you do it with a twist? And, just to try to gain recognition. So my first week, It was like New Year, New Blessings, basically. And it was a giveaway. And I believe my opponent, she was giving away, I think this is what it was. My opponent was giving away textbooks or something. And so I was like, okay, we just gotta go big on big, you know? And the first week, it was like, okay, textbooks. And so we had a lot of people making movies, like videos and stuff like that, just showing their creative side. It really was who can be the most creative. And that was the first week, and a bassist won. The second week was groceries. And my friend who was the cook, she made this like investigation CSI like whole presentation, involved my mom.
Hello, this is Vivian Bradley-Johnson, and I'm looking for my daughter Erica Johnson. Have you seen her? Please help me find her. She's tall, beautiful, and such a caring young lady. She loves FAMU to her heart.
She got stock photos. It was very detailed. And she's a cook, so she was like, I need groceries. Like, I need that. So that was the second week. And the third week was AirPods. But it was so it was just like a interactive thing.
You gave out AirPods?
I think this was like the first generation. I think this was before they got smaller, and yes. So I think it was
the first. Just stop with AirPods, Erica. Just stop with AirPods. They got AirPods.
They got AirPods, but it was fun because I had people posting wanted pictures of me around. Like people were actually being creative. I couldn't even walk to class without being chased, and I loved it. You know, me being a singer, I'm like, I love this, you know, and my first shadow in my life, you know. I also was late to class a couple of times and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so close, and somebody wants to take a photo because they want to win groceries. And I can't be mean, you know, and be like, oh, I'm running late. Like, I get it. Because, you know, it's a week thing. So I would announce the winners every Friday. So it was really like, I got to find this girl. Like people were like on their story, I got to find her, looking for Erica. Have you seen Erica?
So you posted, so okay, the contest was to find where you are, and then maybe you win groceries. Like, how is that? And then after this, I'm going to take a quick break. So just explain how.
Take a photo or do something that incorporates me and something that's creative. Like, so somebody literally recorded me walking to class, and then they just made it into like a TikTok with like music and like it was a PowerPoint. Like, it was like people tried. Like, I have a girl painted something for me, you know, like,
wow.
Yeah, it was a great time. It was just a great time. It was fun to do it, but I saw the impact it made on the campus. You know, like, it's like everybody was like, I don't know, it just felt like a community family event to do. Now that I'm looking back, it was really fun because we didn't know the pandemic was coming. So
this all happened before the pandemic, kind of.
Yes, and after spring break, I didn't see anyone anymore, unfortunately. So I was happy that they were able to have, especially the freshmen, they were able to have, you know, those moments that they could look back on.
And how much in groceries were you giving out to the winners? And how many winners did you have?
I believe it was just $200 in groceries, and it depends. Like, it was some tough competition sometimes. So if I felt like, okay, I can give you a gift card, you know, like, you deserve something. You know, I wouldn't just have someone just, you know, you probably stayed up a long time trying to be creative, you know? So I wanted people to feel seen for, you know, doing something uncomfortable.
We love an empathetic queen. Go ahead, Queen Erica. Yes. So we're going to take a quick break.
Yes.
Be a cutie and follow, like, subscribe to our channels on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram at Queen of the Yard TV, on Facebook at Queen of the Yard, and on Black Twitter at _ Queen of the Yard. Welcome back. We got a special guest coming on the scene.
Actually, we have two guests coming on.
Two guests. We got two guests coming on.
Here we go.
Hello, hello, hello. You know, we're just telling our viewers that one FAMU queen in the family was not enough. We have Erica's big sister, Michelle Marva Johnson, aka Marva to her friends in FAMU, and us, of course, us here at Queen of the Yard podcast. Michelle Marva is the 111th Miss FAMU. She is the supervisor for Publicis Health Media, the market-leading media agency in the health category. And if you're into fitness and Instagram, you may have seen Marva because she is a fitness influencer who be killing it on the gram, y'all. And like her little sister, Marva is a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, and she is a doctoral candidate. Yes, let's give it up for Marva, y'all. Clap it up for Queen Marva.
Thank you.
Hello. But you know what? 2 does not make a dynasty. But 3 sure does. So meet the matriarch queen of the bunch, Dr. Vivian Bradley-Johnson. Dr. Bradley-Johnson is the Senior Vice President of Community Health Services at Parkland Health in Dallas, Texas, one of the largest public health systems in the country. Under Dr. Bradley-Johnson's leadership, many pharmacy programs, including a 340B program, have been developed. And Dr. Bradley-Johnson, who is a bad woman, y'all see this? She is a proud graduate also of FAMU, like her daughters, where she served as Miss FAMU 1981, 1982 during her senior year. And she also, surprise, surprise, is a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated and the Links Incorporated. And Dr. Bradley-Johnson has spent over 39 years providing healthcare services to the underserved in Dallas. Again, we love an empathetic queen. Hey, y'all. What's going on, family?
Welcome.
Hello.
Thank you.
Hello, queen. Hello.
And before we jump off, ladies, let's raise our glasses, whether they have whatever beverage in it. And here to the FAMU queens, to the Rattlers.
Yes, to the Rattlers.
Thank you. Here.
We like to call this happy hour here at Queen of the Yard podcast. Okay. You know, so we like to be happy and talk all about royal madness. So what's up, ladies?
Hello. Thank you so much for allowing us and inviting us to be a part of your show. We're excited to be here.
Well, we are honored to have you. I mean, this is like Tracy said, a dynasty. And first, Michelle, let's start with you.
Hello.
Hello, and hello, sorors, I should say, as well.
Oh, amazing.
What influenced you to, first of all, go? I know, Erica, you kind of said that your family, your parents were kind of like feeding you, instead of milk, it was like orange and green juice, I guess, is that you are going to go to FAMU. But why did you decide to follow in your family's legacy and why Miss FAMU?
To be honest, at first I didn't want to go to FAMU, but it was because family's legacy was so big that it scared me. So it wasn't because FAMU was an amazing school. So I did the tour, and my dad was like, "You're going here." But I feel like I really do have that true love story of FAMU, where I did have a family that went, but it was my love that grew. Like purely, I wanted to go here eventually. So I wanted to go. I mean, I knew about FAMU all along growing up. Of course, like you said, my parents were bleeding orange and green through and through. So I was very aware. Sometimes it's scary to, step on the hill where your family has a legacy, whether it's their academics, whether it's their extracurricular activities. So it can be a little scary, but I was able to accomplish my own legacy and make my own destiny or light there at FAMU.
And when did you decide that you wanted to run for? And when did you decide you wanted to run for Miss FAMU?
I was a resident assistant, which is someone who supervises the residents of a hall. And someone came up to me and said, "You should run for Miss FAMU." And that resident was like, "Well, I just told me that I would be a great fit for it." So it was that individual that really inspired me, but also my mom, knowing that she did it and her experience, as well as my brother being Mr. FAMU. And I did feel like I was fit for the position, and I prayed about it. So I was ready to serve.
So this was what year was this? Was this your junior year, or was this your going to your sophomore year that you were resident assistant, that someone said this to you?
Well, I was a resident assistant starting sophomore year, and I believe someone said it probably like end of sophomore year.
Now, had you participated in homecoming at all? Did you hold any office? And if you didn't, did you even go to homecoming to the coronation?
I did quite a few things, but I went to probably every coronation because I was coronation. If you're a part of an organization or if you represent an organization, then it's good that you should go. So I supported friends that were a part of the royal court before I was a part of the royal court. I also did pageants, which placed me as a queen part of that organization. So I attended coronation as a different type of queen or in an organization, and then. I went to every homecoming because I wanted to be a part of all the festivities. So every homecoming, every coronation, I was there as a student, as someone in a position as well.
The Lord said yes, you should run. Yeah.
Thank you, Lord.
Was it like the audible, like, Michelle, you should run. You should follow footsteps.
I was honestly getting signs. I remember buying shoes from a store and the cost came out to be $111. And I was like, what? That's so odd for it to be that cost. And then people saying I should run they didn't know my family legacy. I didn't tell people, oh yeah, my mom was Miss FAMU or my brother was Mr. FAMU. So it's people saying they saw me fit for without knowing like my background. I was like, well, God, what are you saying? I hear you. So definitely God gave those little signs and answers.
So talk about your campaign process. What was that process? What was your slogan? What was your swag that you gave? We got groceries. Folks got groceries and ear pods out of Erica. So what'd they get from you, Michelle?
So my slogan, as you know, people call me Marva at FAMU, still to this day, was a marvelous beginning. And Miss FAMU previously said she came from humble beginnings. And I was like, wow, that sounds like that's me. And then some people call me Marvelous and Marva. So I tied my name, people who knew me, and, beginning a new legacy. And what was the other question? Sorry, I forgot.
And what kind of stuff were you giving away? What kind of prize?
Walk us through the campaign process. Even, what was some of the competition like?
So I ran with two other women, and one person was very known on social media, and another person did broadcast and journalism, which are they're out there, but a lot of people knew them. I did business and theater, but when you're in those two colleges, then you're pretty much only doing work. You're not out there socializing with people. It's just a different type of. So I had to go out there and also make a step forward for people to know who I was by showing up. And so before I was campaigning, I made a lot of relationships, once again, in the organization I was a part of, as well as being a resident assistant. So when it came actually campaign week, I think pre-campaign week was very stressful. But when it came campaign week, I don't know, God's covering. I wasn't stressed. I didn't even eat or sleep, but I never felt tired and I never felt like I was hungry. So my glasses got ran over before campaign week. So I couldn't see. I couldn't see at all. So it was a lot of things happening before and during.
A blind queen, y'all. A blind queen.
I was a blind queen. But that made me even more forward to talk to everybody who passed me. So it didn't matter who you were, if I knew you or not. If I saw your image, I was going to talk to you. And so people I talked to everyone during campaign week. And so I wasn't stressed at all, I would say, during campaign week. Of course, there's people that can say bad things on social media or can do certain things during your campaign, but I had a great support system throughout the entire week, I would say. And as far as giving things away, I gave like a TV away. It was like a raffle, a TV.
Okay, like a TV. Okay, I did give like a TV. Okay, how big was a TV? How many? What inches are we talking about?
Maybe 40 to 50 inches TV.
Wow. And so
even mom is looking like.
Wait, mom paid for that TV. I don't know what you're talking about. She had to pay for it
for a good cause. For a good cause. So
how did you give the TV away? Was it like just a random raffle, or did they have to?
It was a raffle. I did an event where there's a bounce house. People had snow cones and music and played games. And during that event, I called out who would win that TV.
Oh, okay. So what was your relationship like? And I didn't get a chance to I'll ask Erica this too. But what was your relationship like with your competitors? And I would say before, during, and then after. After you stumped out the competition. What were they talking about?
Before one young lady, I didn't have a relationship with her at all. It wasn't I barely even talked to her to be honest, but it was just because I heard things about me, so we just didn't really click, and we also weren't in the same groups. One young lady, we were actually okay. We were like I guess acquaintances, and I knew she was running, but even when I actually did my campaign speech, she was sitting right next to me and she was encouraging me to do a great job. And I was running against her. And still to this day, we still like when we see each other, we have a good relationship. So that was before. And then during the campaign week, I would say it was kind of both the same, didn't really change, but I would say the young lady that did give me the encouragement to go out there and do my best. We still, when we passed by each other, it was just smiles and encouraging each other. And then after, it's really the same. I mean, we had a 10-year anniversary during homecoming, and the young lady that I wasn't really friends with starting out, we were able to talk and, I guess grow out of all the drama of running, and just, be cordial.
That's good. So what was we would say some of the challenges that you encountered or some of the, give us a little tea.
Oh, tea.
Hmm.
I would say, hmm. I would say T was at, I mean, okay. I would say people that maybe wanted to be a part of my sorority, or they would act like they wanted to support me or say they wanted to be I had a campaign manager. When she got online to be an AKA, she stopped being my campaign manager. So that
Wow.
was an instance. Um, and then
She didn't need you anymore.
she like, I got what I wanted.
Oh,
So
that's not very sisterly.
not very,
No.
but I mean, I won, so no bad blood.
We know
But
that's not
okay.
how all the AKAs
But
behave,
we know
y'all.
that.
That's not
We
how they
know
all
that.
behave.
Of course not. And she wasn't an AKA when that did happen. So
Right,
she
right,
was
right,
trying to
right,
become an AKA. So,
right.
and so I wasn't sure where people's intentions were all the time. So sometimes I did eventually see, but some people stayed friends and they may have became an AKA or, got what they wanted through me as well. But we stayed friends. I would say during campaign week, I had door hangers that were hanging on people's doors. And I heard that one campaign team took them down off the door and knocked them off the floor. So there's that. Of course, social media, a lot of people talk. So on Twitter, people were talking about me. I guess someone said I like passed or didn't say hi or something, but I probably didn't have my glasses. I don't know. But and that's why her reason she wasn't voting for me. Having a dark complexion, that was another reason that some people said
Wow.
um that I wouldn't be fit for Miss FAMU. And now you say I'm a fitness influencer, a fitness queen. Back then, I was a little more chunkier. So just being a thicker woman, people also would say like I wasn't fit for the position. And yeah, and then there's people that said I'm voting, which were close to me, and they were like, "You're not going to win. I'm already gonna vote for the other person." So yeah, and then so when it
Oh
came to
my.
campaign week, I had supporters, but as far as like the organizations I were in who already decided they weren't going to help me and were close, they didn't help me at all.
So how did
Oh
you,
man.
what was, talk about how you encouraged yourself in this season. I mean, you clearly are a person of faith. Was there a scripture? Was there a verse? Unfortunately, some of this language we still hear today about women, and unfortunately, we had the same kind of conversation that we had with Miss Howard in terms of colorism. It's a real thing in our community. So you had your community. However, was there something, a scripture? Was there a mantra? Was there something, if you can remember, that really just centered you in those moments? Because I can imagine assumption that hurt. Like,
definitely hurt. I mean, I would go to church regardless and always get a sermon to fill me up, but it really was actually a person. I remember being in the calf and he ended up praying for me and just telling me I got this. And it's just like, when someone looks in you in the eyes and genuinely says like you have this and God's watching over you, it hits even different than someone just passing by and saying it just because. So but as far as the scripture, I would say probably Psalms 23. because my mom raised me up to learn at least one chapter. So the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want.
I shall not
So
want.
um that helped me, and just also just I had supportive friends, and just my friends, my circle are also like-minded and also believe in God. So they would pray and encourage me along the way as well. So I appreciate them a lot.
Seeing those, just me, I'm assuming that all this stuff is online, the stuff that you were saying about yourself, like the colorism and the I'm not going to support you and all that stuff. Did any of that ever cause you to doubt you running, or maybe feel like I should just drop out of this? Was there any of that ever?
Um, there wasn't a doubt to not do it. But there was like it was discouraging, and like, okay, maybe I won't win. Maybe this person really does have a good chance, and she probably knows more people because she's hosting events, or she has a million people on Instagram. So it was like certain thoughts in my head where I would speak negatively about myself, but it was never like I'm going to stop or I'm going to quit. But it was like the belief in myself at the beginning was a little shaky.
You pressed your way through, as our grandmamas like to say, right?
Yes.
You pressed your way through. So give us the moment when you think that they're going to call someone else's name and they call your name and you win. Walk us through that moment.
Oh, the moment. So like I said, during campaign week wasn't as stressful for me. I went to sleep. So when we were waiting for results, once like all the votes were in, it took a long time for people to count. And I was staying at my stylist place during that week. So I was on an air mattress, and I don't know why I didn't think to just stay up, or I was just so tired at that point where I started to crash. So I went to sleep, and it wasn't, my friend woke me up and was like, "You won." And I was like, "I won?" So, and like, I'm really asleep. And so I started crying, and then I could feel like my phone, like vibrating or blowing up, like people were calling me. So it was my friend that woke me up, my stylist, to tell me that I had won. And then where I was staying, people would come by and say, "Congratulations." I'm like, well, I think I ran to go put on a dress and look, presentable. Cause I think that the results probably like after midnight.
Oh.
So, and I don't know, I'm a sleepy person, low iron, but that night I did not stay up. And there was also just this piece where I felt like, whatever's going to happen will happen, and whatever's supposed to happen, it was God's plan. And so I was able to like sleep, like I just didn't, run a race. So I was at peace, and then I was happy to wake up to great news.
You had that Paul piece.
Yeah.
you had that Philippians piece. Okay.
Yeah.
So there's no pageant where they announce the winners. They announce the winners online. Is that how that works?
There's it's called OSA, where they can post them like on paper. And so some people will wait outside till when they post it, but they also will do it on Instagram now, on live.
Okay. All right. Well, Stacey, you had a question?
Well, no, I was gonna say maybe we should take a quick break.
Yes, I was just
Tell
gonna
people
say
what
that.
to. There we go. We're
There you go.
Tuned. Go ahead.
Be a cutie and follow, like, subscribe to our channels on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram at Queen of the Yard TV, on Facebook at Queen of the Yard, and on Black Twitter at _Queen of the Yard. Hello, Dr. Bradley-Johnson. How are you?
Hello. Again, thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
Oh my gosh. Yes, you look lovely. I see you got on your Rattler colors.
Yes.
Representing.
Yes.
So you were from a different era. And you would have been were you the first FAMU queen in your family?
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
FAMU queen. My sister actually, I think she was the queen of Alpha, was on the court for the A Phi A fraternity, but yes, I was first Miss FAMU.
Okay, so you set it off. You set it off. So
Set it off.
did you have any idea like that you would I'm sure when you won, you're not thinking, well, I'm gonna start a dynasty and there's gonna be queens to follow me.
Really to the contrary. I went to school. We were from a very, I would say, didn't have a lot of money, my family. So when we went to college knowing that we were going for an education, and that was it. Okay. So I majored in pharmacy. So I had no time to do a lot of extracurricular activities and being in various things, I thought. Well, actually, when it was time for the competition, uh, my sorority actually encouraged me to run. And it's like, I'm quiet. I'm a very quiet person. I'm not quiet now, but back then I was extremely quiet, very reserved, studied, stayed on the side of campus that, just pharmacy students, we weren't on the campus a lot. But also at that time, I had a boyfriend, and that boyfriend is my husband today.
Okay.
Yes, yes, we're
Okay.
both from the same hometown.
I
And
love it.
actually, he actually encouraged me to run for Miss FAMU also. So to have a boyfriend who was also at FAMU ahead of me, he knew, he had been on campus and he thought that I would be a good candidate, good Miss FAMU. So with my sorority sisters and then at the time, my boyfriend stating that, it would be great. So I did do it. That's how I got into it.
Okay, Black Love. Now we got a whole nother episode going on here. We're gonna have to dig into that one. We're gonna have to have you
Okay.
come back. We're gonna have to
Okay.
dig into the
Okay.
to the Black Love. I love
Okay.
Oh
that. I
yeah.
love
Oh
that.
yeah.
I
HBCU
love
love.
Yes.
HBCU love.
HBCU love.
Yes.
That's amazing. So, okay, so walk us through your campaign. It's a different era, different time. You didn't
And
have
what year are
social
we?
media and all that
Oh
stuff.
Lord. Okay, so I pledged in 1979, AKA, but then I ran for Miss FAMU in 1981. So I was 81, 82 Miss FAMU. And I'm hearing today all of this that the girls bought for their campaign. And
TVs
it's
and
like, oh my
groceries and
gosh, if I had to run for Miss FAMU today, I would not have been able to do it. There was no way that I could do what the young people are having to do now to compete for um, these races, these leadership. I mean, it's great, but I couldn't afford it. So I'm going to tell you what I bought. The most expensive thing that I bought, I mean, my team, we bought t-shirts that we wore t-shirts on campus. We didn't have social media at the time, so we would, make paper posters. The one thing that I thought, man, this is great. The one thing that I did, still memorable. I tried to suggest it for my children, but I actually had a plane fly over FAMU with my
girl,
name on a banner, okay? But
wait
let
a
me tell
minute.
you how much that cost. $150. $150 in 1981.
Yeah,
So
but
I
that's
thought,
like
oh
ten
man,
thousand dollars today.
how much?
That's probably like $10,000 or $20,000
Oh,
today when you factor
it's
in
in the
expenses.
thousands. When I was like, oh well, this would be nice. It's when we went and checked out the prices, I said, oh no. And see, in back in that time, I guess they could fly in Tallahassee. They had these crop planes that they could fly,
Mhm.
paper banner. Now they have to fly from Orlando to Tallahassee, so it's much more expensive. So we didn't go that route. But so I'm grateful that the small money that I had, that we really, 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 it was more on the individuals, your meeting of the students and getting to know those students. You didn't have the finances to really offer and incentivize kids to come to your events because you were going to have a television that you were going to auction. It was really about what were you going to be offering as a leader for that for the campus. So I'm grateful for that opportunity.
Well, I
I
have
will tell you,
a
Dr. Viv, that just real quick, I will tell you, Dr. Viv, that we interviewed some queens at
Mhm.
Delaware State, and they were telling us that and this is in just a few years ago, that they are renting jet planes and they're doing all kinds of crazy stuff
Oh my
to go,
gosh, no,
helicopters and stuff.
no, 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 no,
Yeah,
no. So I mean, it's that way. I hate that it has gotten to that point that um, the kids feel like they have to do all of that to actually get um, to be favored. So I really hate that. And I don't know how we could get back to different. I was glad to see Erica's online because
Mm,
that was less expensive than the others. You know, you just did it
yeah.
online. It, but I felt that that was probably the most difficult, the most challenging way to campaign. So I'm really proud of my children. Uh, just talking today, I almost got emotional just hearing my daughters talk about their experience. So again, thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Oh, we love an
Oh,
emotional
uh,
queen.
yeah,
And I
this
don't
is.
do this, but just hearing their story because I know what they went through.
Yeah.
Uh, and so I just, it's just nice to be able to see them here. God is good. That's
All
what
the
I
All
have
the
to say.
time.
time.
Yes, yes.
And what was your platform? We read and found an article in
Hmm.
which you talked about what the changes you felt, the image of Miss FAMU.
You're right. Uh, really, it's unfortunate, but again, I was really about being respectful, being seen as someone that you really were proud of as a leader. And I hate to say that was not always the case in some of our leaders, they started okay and then some things would happen. But I felt that I wanted the students to see that I would be able to represent the university and the campus in a way that they would be proud of. I wanted them to see that someone in a pharmacy, a science field, could do that, even because sometimes, oh, well, you can't run for Miss FAMU and be in pharmacy. But what I wanted to show them is like you had to discipline yourself. You could do it.
Mhm.
But I must tell you, when we went on trips to football trips to New York on a bus, and I was studying. When everybody else went to the party after the game, I said, no, I'm not going. I have a test in pharmacy when I go back to school campus. So I went to my room and studied. So I wanted to show them that you could have both. You could do both. So that was really a leader that again, that you felt proud of. I wanted to be seen as a very respectful, mannerable young lady on campus. That was it.
And how do you think you were able to carry out what your goals were as Miss FAMU? How did that actually play out in real life?
It played out well, but I think it was because of my upbringing. At the time, I attended church on FAMU's campus. Um, Unfortunately, I was not. I went to parties, but I was not in alcohol. So those types of things, people were okay. You can't curse around her. So those types of things that they knew about me. Um, so I was able to carry that type of you know to be that way on campus. And again, I was respected by young men, by the ladies. I believed no matter what organization you were in, I didn't have those types of, I didn't have that mean girl attitude. Okay. We were all friends, and that's, I believe, how I wanted them, and I believe that's how they saw me.
Hmm. Do you remember any of your campaign speech?
Oh, Lord.
And that's for all of you too. Just anyone.
Yeah. Just start
Michelle,
thinking.
Erica, did you guys
Now,
have?
I'm going to tell you, I don't remember a campaign speech, what we had to do, something about FAMU's process. Yes, you would campaign during the week, but then you would have one night of competition. Um, and I can't remember, I'm going to tell you, being 64 years old now, I can't remember what that question was at that time that I was asked. But I mean, really speaking was more around on my platforms, how I was going to do things for the campus and be be a leader for the campus, those types of things. So I really can't remember the questions. Can you all remember, Michelle or Erica? Can you
Your
remember the
question?
question or your campaign speech?
If I remember the beginning, and it was like,
I have a video of it.
Yeah, but I
Oh, well,
tell you,
we'll be asking you for that. Go ahead, Marvelous Marva.
walk with me, march with me, and carry on a legacy of Florida Agricultural and Mechanical University with me. That's what I.
Love
Okay.
it.
Thank
Love
you.
it.
all I
Nice.
can remember for my campaign was the campaign slogan. I vote gladly for Vivian Bradley. Now that was corny back then. Okay.
No.
It's
We gonna
catchy
snap that
though. It's
up.
catchy.
We gonna
It's
snap that
very
up. We gonna
catchy.
snap that
Vote
up.
gladly for
It's very
Vivian Bradley.
catchy.
And you
I
won't
love it.
believe this. Some of my classmates, college mates, they still remember that slogan. I had t-shirts with that slogan. So that's all I can remember.
So that brings
I
you to
love
one question. They say once a HBC, well, I say it. Once an HBCU queen, always an HBCU queen. And I briefly told a story when, because as Miss Dillard, years past, people still call you, refer to you as said FAMU. So can you just talk about that? Like this is always and forever. Like you're always Miss FAMU. This is for everybody. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say yes. I am always when I am really introduced by people who attended FAMU with me. They always say she was Miss FAMU, Miss FAMU. Even just recently, our basketball team came out to Dallas, and even with that basketball team, someone said she was Miss FAMU, and her daughters was Miss FAMU, and her son was Mr. FAMU. So it is really that tends to be something that is brought up each time. And I try to say, oh, that was 40 years ago. I try to tell them, don't even talk about it because it was so long ago. But it does stay with you. And again, it was a blessing. It's a blessing. We gained a lot of experience interacting with people. Again, leadership skills, being able to talk on your feet. I mean, it is something that maybe like I heard my daughter say, it's not about just being the queen with a crown, and you learn a lot that really helped. It helped me actually in my career to get me to be a senior vice president today, and it's because of the experience and the things that I had to do when I was Miss FAMU.
So when they announced, so you guys had a competition,
Yeah.
right? And what was your talent or your competition?
My talent was singing.
Oh, another songstress.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
What song did you sing? Do you remember what song you
Oh
sang?
Lord. Do you all remember what I sung?
They weren't there.
I don't even remember what it was. All I do know, and I do know is that I hate to say this, you have to be prepared. That's why I say you have to be prepared with these things, is that when I was up doing my talent, a fight broke out in the auditorium.
Oh, well,
And I said,
see,
oh my gosh. But what I had to do, I continued to sing, I continued to perform. And so it was managed. And so I think even that, I learned that experience that, you have to go on.
not the
Those-
fisticuffs. Wow. What
Yeah,
was the
yeah.
fight about? Do you
Oh,
know?
I don't know. I have no idea. But
Like who won? No, I'm just kidding.
my sorority sisters managed it down there. There was some I don't want to say there was some disruption. Let's just say that
Okay.
distracted the audience for a period of time. But I was able to continue to try to maintain the what I was doing, and I think again that also that night helped people to see, man, she was able to continue to perform even through that. So I think that helped me also. So that was
Let me
singing was my thing.
Let me find out Dr. Viv staged the fight so that she could show them how strong
No,
she was.
no, no.
I'm just
Hey,
kidding.
hey, I was a little scared for a moment, but yeah.
I'm sure. So they call your name. So what do you feel like?
Let's the other thing you don't know. That night, you don't find out the night of the competition. So it's just a again, that's just the pageant night for you to answer questions, for you to model your gowns and business, and also to perform, to do your talent. And then 2 days later, you are then voted by the campus. But the day after you perform on campus, many of the students we had a school in Orlando, the law campus. You are traveling to Orlando to go and meet those students there. So this is what I'm saying. You go through all of that because you don't want to actually be known as, oh, she didn't come to see us, so we're not important, so we're not going to vote for her.
So Michelle and Erica, you had to also get law students involved in your.
Yes, ma'am.
This is like hazing.
Serious business.
So you're talking about driving. So you don't have the money to fly. You're talking about driving in one day. I don't know how many hours it was, in school, driving to the law campus. And I did.
Where was the law campus? Where was
in Orlando.
Okay.
So you're Tallahassee to Orlando. Okay.
Yes.
3 hours, I think.
3 hours. And then coming back that same day, because you still have classes, right? And then being prepared to do something that evening, because that's your last night of campaigning. And they didn't talk about it. They had some very, I would say, unique ways in which they were able to get people to the polls. One year it rained. Michelle, how did you get people to the polls?
I did rides to the polls.
Because it was not, you had to travel, it was not right there in your dorm. Some people had to come from off campus. So if you were to send like a text and say where you were going to be, so those cars or those vans would come by and pick you up and take you to the polling place.
And did the polls actually look like, did the polling booths actually look like polling booths that we vote for our governmental elections? How did the polling, what is the aesthetic of the polling?
You had paper.
Places?
Yes, you did. For me, we had a long paper with the names of the individuals. So Erica had online, but we had a long sheet of paper, and we actually, I think it was more putting in boxes then.
Okay.
Michelle, what was yours?
I think it was the same, where it was paper and then you ended up putting in boxes as well. You bubble who you want.
Yeah, bubbled it.
And so you go to a location.
Yes.
There's one location, and was there ever any lines, or how did that work?
Not one location for me. We had the grand ballroom. There were different locations on campus. So I don't know about for Michelle.
I think it was the same. It was about two. I think there's one at the pharmacy building and then one in the grand ballroom.
And was there ever any cheating scandals?
No.
Like, because that's.
Oh, wait.
I'm like thinking, at least in my brain, I don't think there was no cheating scandals. Now, I think another year they had to make sure they recounted, because I think they were also trying to do it digitally and on paper. So trying to do something new that didn't really work out. But once they recounted, they figured it out. But
Erica, you threw your head back. You sound like this is something.
Well, not with me, but like she said, someone else. Just people get it gets very serious for people.
So one question, that we asked your sister, but how is it with your competitor? You were competing against what, 2 people? How many people you were competing against?
As well.
2. Was it before and after relationship?
So my freshman year, I was Miss University Housing. Another thing that we all share in common. We competed our freshman year for free housing, all 3 of us. And a girl that I ran against was on my court. So we had like some time together, but she wasn't as I guess she kind of knew that I was, potential competition. So she kind of just separated herself. And then the other young lady, we were friends freshman year. But then we just, we grew apart. And she actually crossed before me. So that was the biggest thing. I was running against an AKA and I wasn't one yet. But my mom and my sister were there pro fight. So it was kind of like, yeah. So yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
A little
it was a
dicey
little
there.
awkward. Yeah, but it was great. I think people knew I was coming. Like I sung at my sister's coronation. I've sung at every coronation outside of my own. So I kind of made it known that like I'm here,
Mhm.
So I sung A Ribbon in the Sky for her coronation.
Oh,
Oh,
love that song. Such a
a
great
beautiful
song.
song.
I'm going to take a quick break and then I want to ask you guys about how it changed you all's life. Be a cutie. Follow, like, subscribe to our channels on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram at Queen of the Yard TV, on Facebook at Queen of the Yard, and on Black Twitter at _Queen of the Yard. All right. Welcome back. So, Stacey, I think you had a question
No,
before.
you got it.
So, Miss FAMU, I want to talk about how becoming Miss FAMU changed your life. I'll start with you, Dr. Viv.
It changed my life in knowing, okay, that I could serve in leadership roles, right? Just because I had done that. And that it changed my life in that I knew that I could relate no matter what level, um, whoever it was, I was able to actually relate and talk with those individuals. I remember my father talking about that. He saw me at a game and saw that no matter who they were, I was able to converse with them. So I think that helped me. And again, and I'm using those skills today. Um, Believing in myself, knowing that if there is a job opportunity, believing that because of the skills that FAMU gave me, prepared me for, anything that I wanted to go after, that I could do. I could do. So I think that's how it has helped me. And just the relationships, the network, but that's just going to an HBCU. And that's just being in sororities and other things that it has helped me throughout my life since
Did
leaving
people
FAMU.
cheat? I'm sorry. I didn't
Did
mean to
they
cut you
cheat?
off.
Did they
No, no,
cheat?
no. Did they treat you differently after you were crowned? Did anyone treat you differently? Like I know that Marva said and even Erica said that people were trying to, be their friends. Was there
Um,
any of that?
I didn't see that because again, I was you do become, oh, you're Miss FAMU. So you it's like you're well known, or you're known more familiar. Um, so everywhere you go, oh, Miss FAMU, people are really excited. Oh, Miss FAMU. So it's like, oh, it's a little bit uncomfortable. It was for me. I remember getting letters. Just one thing we all had an opportunity now to be in Ebony, and so when you get in Ebony, that was like, oh man, I got letters from guys I didn't even know. You know what I'm saying? So it was like you become this celebrity and you don't even know it. So that those types of things. But I didn't know whether there were people that were jealous of me or whatever. So I had a great experience as Miss FAMU.
Oh, amazing. What about you, Marva?
I would say that it gave me confidence, but like genuine confidence. Like I didn't have to play that I was confident. I would say that it allowed me to feel confident in certain roles as far as leading or helping other people with campaigns and just the different networking. There's people that are running today, literally graduate, I've 5 years, I think it was 5 years ago I ran, or 6 years ago, ran for Miss FAMU, and people still contacting me, helping them with one advice for their campaign and want to know about my experience. So just the relationships relationships that I still have with people that are current FAMU students. It also has just allowed me and gave me the confidence of just doing programs and initiatives outside of graduating and just propelling and progressing in different avenues.
Awesome. And what about you, Erica? What changed for you?
It gave me the, like she said, the confidence and the reassurance, the validation that I need for myself before I even go out into this world. I felt like I don't know imposter syndrome because I have an HBCU background and because I am an HBCU queen. And to know that a lot of people trusted, leading them during this period, or, they saw that I was fit for this position. It just brings me a lot of joy and happiness to know that people see me in a different light that I can barely see myself right now. And outside of, that campus life, I'm able to not shy away from speaking up and taking initiative like my sister. Because I did learn how to have interpersonal skills. I did learn how to agree to disagree and to just be solution oriented and to know that we're all different, and that extend grace and mercy, to people, because you just, being the face of a school, you interact with so many different people. And so it just made me have a little bit more compassion for humanity, along with standing up and being able to speak for those who are, scared or shy or not in the position to have a voice.
What was that experience like to speak in front of your entire student body? Erica, what was that feeling like?
It was great. My sister is a public speaker, so we were coaching. She had me do it again. Both of my, like everyone in my family, they're very articulate, so I had to challenge myself to just not be a singer on stage and to actually have a presence and just be more than what I think of myself right now. I used to say, and I wanted to envision my higher self and start showing up as her. And that kind of encouraged me to just keep at it, And then it just became easier. Even my mom, she was listening to me speak and she's like, I can't believe this is you, because I was just like, I'm not going to let this hinder. I'm not just going to be the singer. I need to be able to speak in front of people and I need people to receive me. So I have to be able to articulate my thoughts. And being in that position, I just realized that, people are different. So I had to figure out how to communicate better or my delivery, in order to be received. It's all about your delivery. So I feel like being in that position and learning how to, articulate my thoughts. A lot of things work out better. I don't allow emotions to come into my, situations, and, I'm allowed to be level-headed. So I think just being able to speak more and talk to people, it just alleviates some of that awkwardness, especially when you're in a leadership position. You could talk to anyone and people love you for being, you being you. And that's another thing, being chosen for just being you it's comforting, I didn't have to show up as anyone else. I didn't have to see what somebody else was doing. I was just like, I'm just going to be nice.
And I think real quick, we'll wrap up in a minute, but you had mentioned to us that I think you guys have to announce your candidacy or something in front of the school, and you said you had to do it online, and that was a little terrifying a little bit. I think you mentioned that to us during the call.
Legacy is everything. Someone crawled so she could walk, so they could run, so we can fly.
So everyone else, they do their speech in the grand ballroom. And because we were off campus, I'm like, I gotta mix it up. I gotta give them something that, So we're on the steps of our auditorium and my friend is like panning the camera. Like, it's like, we're gonna give, even though we're on live, we're gonna give you some, something to work with. And so I'm walking down the steps in a suit, starting my speech off, just proud, I worked so hard to get here. So it's like, I got to leave it on the table. And then the amount of viewers that I had, while I was doing my speech, I think that's also, it's like, people are like, when am I coming? When am I coming? Because I'm somebody something. So it's like my sister's classmates are looking, my brother's classmates are looking, everybody's watching, you know? So it was a lot of pressure. But it was great. There's a video of it.
Oh, we'll
That
find it. We'll find
yes.
it.
Well,
We will find
and,
it.
and you didn't tumble down the stairs, so you did
No,
good.
no, no, no. Because there's no redos, there's no edits. It's
No,
live.
no, and it's live, we go
Yeah.
live. And before we find out where we can find you, Dr. Vivian, I just wanted not to be lost on number one, how does it feel to have two daughters? But I don't want people to miss out that you also have a son who is
Yes.
Mr. FAMU. So just as a mother, just what is that feeling? You have not
It-
just one, not
It's
just two, you have three
unbelievable.
kids.
And you're right. My son is really the one who started it. You know, you're thinking about the Miss FAMUs, the girls, but my son is the one who said, you know, I want to go after this. And I didn't even know. He didn't even discuss that with me. But I must tell you, the pressure. You all may think that, oh, it's, you know, you got all of these kids. But when you have your children competing with all of these others and not knowing whether they would get it, I mean, they're from Dallas, Texas. How is it from Dallas and being, you know, recognized in Tallahassee, a city that you're not you didn't grow up in. So I was really scared. It was a very scary moment for me as a mother. But I'm again, I'm proud. It's unbelievable. I don't know of it ever having been done before. So we're just I'm grateful.
And as the elder, I would ask, how do you think people out here don't understand the importance of the HBCU campus queen? And they don't see that tradition. So can you tell us, why is this such an important tradition that must continue?
Oh yes. Again, the HBCU queen, again, you are being chosen to represent the university. And so again, you're wanting someone that is well respected, that would be able to go out and articulate your thoughts and to talk about why is it important to attend an HBCU. So you would want that type of person. And because, again, I'm saying we are, if we didn't have HBCUs, I mean, many of us would not even be attending schools because we couldn't get in elsewhere. So it is important to have someone that can go out and represent you as a group and share with everyone, whether it's someone who looks like you or someone who does not look like you, why it is so important and the benefit of an HBCU. So that's why I think it's important for these
That's
positions.
amazing.
Mhm.
Well,
Amazing.
we are so grateful for your time, for your stories, for your service. And the story doesn't just stop here. We want people to be able to find you and to know about the work you're doing. So please let us know, Dr. Vivian, Michelle, Erica, where can people find you, and share your hashtags, or if there's something
Okay,
you're
so
working on next.
I'm gonna have to have my kids to help me with this because I always said I would never get on social media. I don't know why people put their stuff on social media, and now I use social media. Erica created something for me, and now you'll find me on social media all the time. So I'm on Facebook, I'm on IG, but it's under Vivian B. Johnson. So if that's how you can find me, and I'm working in the community. That's really, I'm 40 years, almost 40 years with my employer, but now I'm doing what I love doing, and that is working in and serving in the community.
I'm on a lot of social media sites, but I would say the most prominent ones that I'm on would be Instagram, and it's underscore I am Marva. And also Facebook, probably just under my name, Michelle Marva Johnson. And TikTok, it's at Michelle Marva. As you can see, Marva is always in the name of all my social media sites because it's a part of me. It's who I am. But you can find me there. You can find what I'm doing now, which is school devoted to church and God, and just my friendships and my relationship. It's all there. So stay connected, and LinkedIn. Don't forget LinkedIn. But yes, please follow me on all these social media sites.
And as for my social media, I'm on everything, as far as Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and it's all under Erica Nicole, ErikaNxCole.
Yes.
That's
Well,
great.
thank you so much, ladies. You
Yes,
guys have
thank
been
you.
amazing, 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 amazing. We're so blessed to have talked to you, and we
Thank
love your
you.
story. So we
Thank you so much. It's so nice meeting you. Thank you. And Stacy, I didn't know that you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was in Ebony too.
were you? Okay. Well, thank you all, and we look forward to chatting with you again maybe one day.
Yes,
yes.
definitely.
Okay. All
Yes,
right.
thank you
Bye.
both. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank
Yes.
you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Well, Stacy, that was good.
That was awesome. That was really awesome. So we are
Not a whole
so
generation.
generation upon and future generations to come, I can imagine. So thank you so much for listening and tuning in to Queen of the Yard podcast. Our cuties.
Yes, and don't forget to be. That's right, y'all are cuties. They are.
You're
cuties,
very
Stacey.
cuties. They're cuties.
So be a cutie.
You're a cutie.
Be a cutie. Be a cutie. And follow, like, subscribe to our channels on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram at Queen of the Yard TV, on Facebook at Queen of the Yard, and on Black Twitter at _Queen of the Yard. Be a hero. Support our crowdfunding campaign to make Queen of the Yard a hit TV series at crowdfunder.com/Queen of the Yard. See y'all later. I'm Tracy Lauren.
And I'm Stacey L. Holman.
Bye.